Hi there everybody, welcome to a Colourmorphia review. This is the publication day, so this today is the 2nd of May 2019 and this is the publication date for the UK. This was previously released in the US, which I'd already bought a copy of, which is a good thing because I can do a little comparison and tell you what the paper or if the content is any different or, you know, any of the differences between the UK version and the US version, so you can make your mind up which one you would like to go ahead and purchase. However, I'm here today to review and flip through, and I'm going to show you a couple of coloured examples from some of the images that are in the UK version here. So this is a mixture of images over Kerby's Morphia range. So this is from Kerby's Morphia book series that he's got out there. So you've got Imagimorphia, Animorphia, Mythomorphia, Geomoprhia and Fantamorphia. So there's quite a lot of Morphia books that we've got out there. This is a mixture of all of those Morphia books put into one. So we have some images that are picked from each of them. Some have been cut down from a double page spread to a single page spread. Some of them are still kept as glorious double pages. And we've also got 2 additions to Colourmorphia, which I will really be excited to show you. So I'm just going to straight away start flipping through. This came with Michael O'Mara's publication pack, which is a little postcard, which I thought was quite a cool touch. So it's not a proper postcard, it's just printed out on a cardstock, and it's got the front cover image. So what you'll see straight away from the US and the UK versions is the cover image is exactly the same. The UK has his stamp and the US has the different titling. So there's the obvious difference between the UK and the US versions, which is the spelling. With the US version we drop the U, and with the UK version we put a U in. And then we've also got the way that the title's presented. So the US version has this rainbow title and our one has this spine that has just got a colour block like in front, so that behind can just be sort of cut out into the white. The spines are just as of that. They kind of represent what's on the front, which is exactly the same. Now, what you will look and think is that there's a slight difference in thickness. Now, I'm not going to flip through the US version as I have done that on the channel. What I will say, and the reasons to why this looking a lot thicker, is because the paper does appear to be thicker in the US version. Now, it's ivory as opposed to being bright white. So if I show you a difference in the papers, you'll see now. So our one is a bright white paper, this one, and the US version is this like off-white ivory, and it does appear to be that tad thicker. Now, if you're into the whole paper thing and you would prefer a thicker version, this is where you can make your choice, and this is why the reviews are here. If you prefer an ivory thicker card, the US version. If you want a bright white and it's not thin, it's just thinner than the US, then you can go for the UK edition. Okay, so now we're just going to go straight on in here. So we open up to the opening page, which has got a coloured bug beetle, a mechanical bug inside. And then we have, again, a coloured image. Now, there are 16 colour masterpieces from Kerby's fans. So this is people that have taken their time to do Kerby's work, post them on social media platforms, and have been asked if they can feature in the book, which I'm pretty sure they would have been really happy about. So it will give you a little rundown of what they are and a little bit about the shading techniques that was used and how the colorist has kind of captured the image. It will also give you a little rundown of who had coloured those images, and it will just give you something visual. So if you're new to adult colouring and this is the first book you're picking up, You can also get some inspiration from coloured images, and I do recommend that you go check out the Facebook colouring groups and Instagram for those inspiration ideas. So they are all featured, including this one. And then we get into the colouring section. Now the colouring section is the featured images from all over his books. They are double-sided, so alcohol markers would not be advised unless you're going to buy 2 copies and you don't mind sacrificing the image on the back. And we have some double pages that were originally in the books. And as I said, and I'm going to repeat, there are some double pages that have now been cut down to a single image. This is the Animorphia cover, so this is what started the whole series off. And then we have quite a few of the double page spreaders. That is my personal favourite, and I'm going to give you an insight and insert what some of my coloured pages look like of the double spreads. So there is different interpretations of these over on social media platforms, and I highly recommend that you go check them out. So this, as I said, is a complete mixture between his current published books. So they start from the very first one, which was Animorphia. They go to Imagimorphia as his second book, Mythomorphia as his third book, Fantamorphia as his fourth, and Geomoprhia as his fifth. And we're finishing up the Morphia series with a greatest hits of all of those books condensed down into one mixed book. So there's a very whimsical feel throughout all of Kerby's work. And he's taken us through the stages of his imagination, starting with animals, going into mythical, and going over all kinds of things from mermaids to dragons to nature, and very, very busy pages with the doodles, and other pages like this that is a complete new one, and I will tell you why. This is the cover of Fantamorphia. Currently in Fantamorphia we got this side only, and this side was excluded. You had it on the front cover with the very front of the book and the back of the book. We didn't have it to colour in inside the book as a full image. So this is an exclusive to Colourmorphia, being that we've got the full image of Fantamorphia's cover to colour. So I was really excited about that. So as I continue to flip through, if you are already a Kerby fan, you will recognise all of these. I will insert a coloured image of this Chinese dragon at the end of this flip through, as I've coloured it. And like I was mentioning earlier, this was originally a double page. It has now been put to a single page. And we've gone from original first books to last books. So you really are going through the different timeline of Kerby's work. I will also insert a coloured image that I have done of the Kirin. My coloured images are just to give you a little bit of an idea of the kind of colour schemes or what they will look like when they're done, and a little bit of inspiration, as I said, especially for those who are beginning out with adult colouring. And we have done a full colour along live on this channel with the background and everything with this picture. So if you are also wanting to try this image out, you can hop on over to my previous live stream videos and you can follow along with this colour along from start to finish. So you'll recognise that there are a lot of doodles in some of Kerby's earlier work. And as we went through the timeline, there was less and less of the doodles and more towards the image itself. So there is quite a lot of range in Kerby's work, and I only hope that we get lots more from him. So you also have a coloured image in the front of this particular Swan double pager. And I've also realised there's quite a few that have a mechanical theme. So there's lots of ways to practice different colouring techniques and methods in order to finish your pages. This is the second exclusive we get to the book. Again, this was a Geomorphia cover, this side only. On the very front cover of Geomorphia, you had this double page on the front cover only. In the content of the book, you only got the single side and not the full double page spread to be able to colour. So it's the second exclusive. So the two exclusives to Colourmorphia are the Fantamorphia cover and the Geomorphia cover. So both of them are there for you to be able to get stuck into and really enjoy. And I am so looking forward to doing both of those. There's lots of foliage too, so you can do a lot of leaves and flowers and botanicals in Kerby's work, and you'll see that features quite a lot. And as I said, back to the mechanicals. If you also want to see a colour along with this, you pop on over to Colour with Claire's channel. She has also done this full colour along in her review, and this was also a double pager that's now been put down to a single. There's some filigree and nature. You got some skulls, botanicals and doodles. There is quite a lot. A very King Kong-esque page. And the last page in the book. And then the very back, you can still colour the illustrated page, and it also tells you the Animorphia, Imagimorphia, Mythomorphia, Fantamorphia and Geomorphia books. And the very back cover again has the mechanical bug that opens up at the front here. And it's also got a tiny little description on the back and the title again with his famous doodles behind the title. So you can go and grab this now. So I thank you so much for watching this review. I do hope you found that really helpful. As I mentioned, you can also grab the US edition, which I will bring to you now. On grabbing the US edition, there's two factors to remember on making your choice of which one you're going to buy. If you're wanting the US version, you have to bear in mind that there is a slightly off-white card. It feels like a card more than a paper, but it's probably a heavy stock paper. So with the UK version, it's bright white. With the US edition, it's this ivory colour. You have a slightly thinner paper, but it's still thick enough all the same to be able to take your mediums. And with the US version, there's quite a difference in the paper in terms of the thickness. It feels the same to touch in terms of the smoothish surface, although they do take your mediums really well. And I'm going to leave you also with some coloured images from Colourmorphia. Now, I have done them in the previous book, so I can pop them in here of which is inside Colourmorphia, so you can get a little bit of an idea. You also need to bear in mind prices. If you are in the UK and you're wanting the US version, it's roughly 14 English pounds for shipping from Amazon US. If you're going over to the UK and you're in the UK right now, you can pick this up in the works for £5 from Micro O'Mara's at a retail price of £9.99, and they range between £5 and £10 depending on where you go and which bookshop you can get them from. So thank you so much for watching this review. I will leave you with some coloured images that I have done from my Kerby books that's featured in Colourmorphia only. So that's the jellyfish, which you can go over and follow the full colour along for, the Kirin and the Chinese dragon. Thank you all so much. You have an amazing day. Go grab your Colourmorphia books and I will see you on my next video. Bye everyone.